I am currently editing one of my episodes to get prepared to upload for Wednesday. By the time you guys see this video, the episode will already be live, available on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Spotify, in addition to iHeartRadio. It's pretty much available on all major podcasting platforms. You can look it up, Become the Victor podcast. But to get right into the video is, as I was setting up everything, I am currently I'm currently changing things a little bit when it comes to the description for my podcast episodes. And as I was editing a few things, one of the things that I was working on and kind of just improving on is the meaning behind Become the Victor. And as I was rewriting it and just restructuring it a little bit to make it sound a little bit better, is as I just felt so inspired to create this video, which is, how do I know God is real? And, as I was writing the description, it's the meaning behind Become the Victor. And it's all about essentially turning your trials into triumph, how despite what it is you go through, there are better days that lie ahead. And as I was, rewriting this part of the description, I just started reflecting off of my own life. And I was like, if someone were to come up to me and ask me, how do you know God is real? I started to wonder, how would I answer that question? Because, there's so much pain, there's so much violence, there's so much ugliness within the world, right? Like, how do you approach such thing? How do you approach such question when you have like children in the hospital and they're battling sad illnesses and diagnosis, or they don't make it out alive? Like, how do you do that? There's so many different things going on in the world, right? Like, how do you answer that? How is God real? And the best thing that kind of came up to mind is, I know God is real. That I cannot speak for everyone, but this is on my own personal testimony, that I was placed on a psychiatric hold in January of 2020. I went through a very ugly, traumatic, ugly season within my life. In medical terminology, they call it a mental health crisis, a mental health collapse. And spiritually speaking, I am very spiritual, is I went through a spiritual warfare. And as I was navigating this process, and I was sedated for several days, and as I was navigating the season, going through this process, is I remember after I got out of the hospital and I was on antidepressants at the time. I was seeing a psychiatrist at the time. I was navigating a very dark season, as you can imagine. And as I was navigating this season, what happened is my family took me to church that Sunday, that weekend. And when they took me to church, I cannot remember exactly what the priest was saying, but I do remember one thing. And the one thing that the priest was saying was talking about darkness and how the devil tries to attack us in our most vulnerable times. And as he was explaining this, every single word, not like parts of what he was saying, but the entire sermon of that Sunday felt so directly to me, because here I am. I just got out of the hospital. I was just placed on a psychiatric hold. I'm now on antidepressants. I am going through a very turbulent season, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. And I remember leaving that church. And I remember, during the sermon, I was just keeping to myself, and I was just silently like nodding, because every single thing that they were talking about, I was able to resonate with. That's how I know God is real. God, when you allow God into your life and you want to build a relationship with him, you try to actually tune out the outside negativity and tune into what God has to say for you. You start to hear little messages. You start to see little signs of synchronicities that are meant for you. And that's how I knew God was real, because when I left that day, that's when I understood that when you simply sit down and listen, God will continue to show you the way. But it is only up to you whether or not to listen. I apologize so much if you guys can hear the background noise. I currently have the Michael Jackson movie going on in the living room, and my office is like near it. And I just literally, as I was writing the description, I felt so inspired to make this video. And I had this thought how I could begin it, how I could talk about it. And I didn't want to lose that thought just because it was like so fresh and I really wanted it. I really wanted to create a video and get it out of my head. That's why even the lighting isn't even adjusted properly. Usually that orange light you see on my screen, I actually turned it into white. And my phone's not even on silent, so my phone could be going off soon. And because we're gonna be having family over, and again, I didn't close my door, didn't bother lowering the TV in the living room, but that's why you guys might be able to hear it. I don't know if you guys can or not. My mic does have noise reduction, but suppression, but I don't know. I just wanted to highlight that as well. Again, I just felt so inspired. I'm working on, getting my next episode published. And again, by the time you guys see this, that episode will already be live and available. So you guys can check it out there. So you guys can tune into my podcast, Become the Victor podcast, where I interview people who have a story to share, who has turned any form of a trial into a triumph, any form of a test into a testimony. A very, very powerful, amazing podcast that I am so grateful to have the opportunity to be part of and interview such amazing, extraordinary, remarkable people. And two, I want to highlight for those of you wondering, am I still on antidepressants? Do I take any form of medication for my mental health? And no, I stopped taking any form of medication that altered my mental state literally like a month after I was on a psychiatric hold. From 1 month to the next, I'm not kidding. It was probably like 2 to 3 weeks, to be more realistic. Not even that. But it's been a journey. It's been a process. Again, this all transpired in January 2020. So by the time you guys see this video, it is currently July 2026, and it's been far from easy. It's definitely a lot of seasons here and there, but at the end of the day, I know God is real because of how far He has pulled me through. And I don't know what this is going to mean for you, but you can know God is real because of how He helps you through all of the things you once thought you couldn't. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Please share with your friends. Subscribe. Comment down below what this video meant for you. Like the video. Again, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And as always, remember, grow through what you go through. Much love.